Here we are, Mayor Genshaw, for another video. Thank you for sitting down with me again. This week we want to address the 911 Center, but also I understand you came across a recent post or comment on Facebook that you'd like to address right now.
Right. Well, thank you again for doing this. And I do want to talk about the 911 Center at some point, but a recent post came out and a lot of questions have stirred up, and if I was a voter, I would have questions too. So
Sure.
I thought it was important that I addressed this this person's comments. This gentleman's a developer in our downtown. I consider him a friend. He's been very supportive of me in the past on any fundraising he and his family have come out and supported. And the city's been very supportive of him, helping him with his projects. And so I say that this is truly a disagreement, but I consider him a friend. But one thing he stated, that his reason for coming out against me in this election is that I've raised taxes on the residents via a tenant tax, and that's causing rents to rise. So to explain that, we came out with a rental license agreement. We had a committee of people, landlords that own lots of properties, of which this developer was part of. And we were searching for ways that we could control and better manage our rental properties, because some of them are becoming very deteriorated, which causes everybody's values to decrease. We met for many weeks and finally came up with, as a group, that the rental license agreement was the way to go forward. Just so people understand, that's a $50 yearly fee to the landlord. The landlord can do with his fee whatever he wishes. It doesn't go to the tenant. But if you were to break that out, it's about $4.16 a month. So our intent wasn't to raise rents. Our rental fee is much lower than any town anywhere close to us. But it was to help property values in our town due to some landlords not taking care of their property. So we did do that. The second issue he had with us is that the police foot patrols are down because of the 911 Center closing. Those two things are completely unrelated. We did have a reduction in our police force. We had an SRO that was taken out of the active force and placed at the schools, which our council was very supportive of, and think it's the right thing to do. Most people know that when you hire a police officer, it takes 6 months of training before they're active. We just graduated 4 last night and swore them in just this morning, and they will be hitting the street. The chief is committed to foot patrol and bike patrols, and he's got 2 more officers going through the classes. So the police being out on the street, community policing is still our priority. It always has been. The chief is after it, and you will see that return very quickly. So hopefully I've addressed that. And lastly, he's against the current mayor because I've blocked $3 million in economic development downtown for reasons that are only private to him. So I think that really, if I was a voter and you've heard me speak and I'm about economic development, why would David Genshaw or anybody on city council be against a $3 million investment in downtown? So first off, we've met with this developer, and what he wanted to do was put a laundromat downtown with some businesses around it and some apartments above, very small apartments, 750 square feet. All that sounds good, except the laundromat by our code is not permitted. And we explained that to him. We offered to incentivize or help in any way for him to put a laundromat in the areas that it's appropriate. But he's committed to having it downtown. I said I wouldn't support a code change for a laundromat downtown. The impact on all the businesses downtown, I think, would be great having a laundromat. And I stand by that statement. I would not support a change in the code for a laundromat to be in our downtown area. So I wanted to address that so people knew where I was coming from. And if they have questions, I'm happy to address them. But I'm a principled person. I don't change on whims or people that are for votes or anything like that. I think there's a right thing to do. And as mayor, you got to do what's right for everybody in your community. So trying our best to do that, and the council has agreed with that. Where my opponent stands on this, I can't answer that. That would be questions you'd have to ask him. But since this gentleman's supporting my opponent, I would assume there's some questions that should be asked. So, but I wanted to make it clear to people where I stood on this, and then they heard it directly from me.
Well, Mayor Genshaw, we appreciate you addressing this very current and recent topic that has just come up. It's very relevant, and we look forward to sitting down with you again. Thank you.
Thank you.